In today's video, we're going to be looking at the service desk module in HaloPSA. So the service desk module is very central to any PSA, and so for our engineers, they're going to be looking at the service desk, which is really your ticketing system. There's some other things that come out of that. Things like our billing, or how we actually group together our services that are in use by our clients. So as an MSP, our service desk is incredibly important to how we conduct business as well as service our customers. So to get there, we're either clicking on the link just up here, which is our service desk, or we're clicking on the service desk button here on the dashboard. Once the service desk is actually open, this is the sort of screen that you get presented with. It's something to note that there's sort of two elements on the left-hand side that we can look at. The first is we've got a filter, which we can set here. So we can either left-click and we can choose our items, create new filters, for example. So I'm just using the demo filter here. And something which isn't straightforward or apparent first is you can right-click on a lot of the menu elements in Halo, and you can edit and view things from within here. So we could edit those profiles if we chose to. And then the second is not just the filter, but the view. So there's several views that are here. And as we're growing into a larger team, we're finding the tickets by team view is particularly useful. So right now we're sort of split up into two teams, to a level 1 and a level 2 help desk. And by showing those teams, we can actually see the two different levels really clearly and easily. So these are our agents here on the left-hand side. And you'll notice there's a couple of unassigned agents. So that's generally where tickets, when they get created, they'll be unassigned to an agent. So they'll just go into that particular queue. And then we can see here our other agents and the tickets that they have allocated to themselves. The workflow that sort of gets the tickets to be created can happen a number of different ways as well. So we use 3 particular ways. So the first, which is by far the most popular, is via email. So we have a support email address which users email into, and that will on a scheduled basis every few minutes it actually checks the mailbox, and if there's a new email that's arrived, then it will actually create a ticket from the email. We also have a form which connects into the API for Halo, so users can actually visit a website and they can type in the details about the ticket, and it'll get created from there. And the third way is that there's a portal within Halo itself. So if the users have a username and password to the portal, they can log in and they can actually create tickets from the HaloPSA portal itself. But no matter which way the tickets are created, this is where the workflow starts from. So it'll come in here, start life as an unassigned ticket, and then away we go. So I've created a test ticket here, and it's exceptionally easy to work with. So as an engineer, you'll be coming in here, opening up the ticket, and then you can start to see the details of it. So you've got the initial commentary that's coming in from the user. You've got some useful information, things like the customer, etc. So, and this here is very useful as well, particularly if you've got it set up per customer. So if, in particular, if they're using email, you can actually create a domain against the customers in Halo, so that anyone who emails in from a particular email address, if it's a company email, then Halo will pre-assign that to the customer. You can also create users against sites, but this is really useful for us, again, because almost all of the users have a real preference to email the support desk. So that registration just means that the ticket gets allocated against a customer, and then we can use our information sort of from there. So as an engineer, my first step, if I'm working on a ticket, is I'm going to respond. So this response, this is just saying that I'm going to claim this ticket. And by hitting that respond, what we're actually going to see is that that ticket will move into my particular assignment. So I've grabbed that ticket, it's automatically come into my name here. And we can see there's that test ticket that I created, and it's now against my particular name. So I can start working on this ticket. So when I've got the ticket open, there's a little timer here, which is incredibly important. So that timer is a way for me to then start tracking my time against the ticket. I can stop and resume if I wish to, and I can even reset it if I choose to. But as we go, that time is going to be accumulating time, so I'm working away on the customer ticket. And what I can do is then I can allocate that through an action. Now there's two particular actions that are most common, and they'll result in either what most systems call public and private actions. So we can email the user. So by clicking email user from within this screen, what happens is we can actually communicate with the user and put those notes in a public action so that the user can see them. They'll also get an email address, etc. We can also add a private note. So this is something that the customer doesn't see, and we can type our notes in here. And most importantly, the time taken is recorded. So what we encourage all of our engineers to do is, if they're working on a larger task, they break it up into little tasks, write their notes about each one and put the time onto each one, because we get a lot more rich information about it, knowing what we're doing there. That will accumulate into the total time recorded of what we have here. All right. So let's just go through creating a new ticket. From here, what we can do is we can find the end user. So if the user was to say call up, if we had a phone number that they could call, we could actually type in the company name, and it would find the company in the site. We'd then fill in the ticket, and we would be able to start creating the ticket from here. And it's created a new ticket, just the same as one that's been emailed in, etc. So the agent can create on behalf of the users as well. Some of the other things which I'll just point out, which are really quite interesting and things that we use really heavily. So down the right-hand side here, there's some extra fields which we use pretty extensively. So what we do is we sell block hours, so which we call rescue packs or booster packs, and we sell them depending on the size of the business. We sell them in 2, 10, 20 and 50 hours. So we've got a processing system for that with block hours, but we wanted our engineers to be able to see just how many hours a customer has and how much is used. So what we do is we've created some custom fields here which we populate through the API. And that includes things like how many hours has the particular company used. We also publish some other information to help our engineers identify things. So here, this particular customer, they've got unlimited Office 365 support and unlimited AWS support in their particular package. So that would signal to them that they wouldn't actually be recording time, and we've got a mechanism to exclude those things. But it's all in one single pane of glass right from the ticket being open, and gives them the ability to manage the customer without having to go into accounting packages or other things. It's all right there at their fingertips. Okay, so just to recap, we've been looking at the ticket or service desk functionality inside of HaloPSA. And in this module, we've had a quick look at things like filters and views. But the really important stuff was about the workflow, about how these tickets are created, how we've got the ability to allocate them out to our particular customers, how we can create new tickets, and go through some of the basics of it. So responding, so we take ownership of a ticket, how we can reply to a customer and have it publicly available, how we can record a private note and have that for just the engineers to look at, what the actions are, and in particular, those actions with time recording, because that's very central to any MSP about how they're going to be operating for their customers. And finally, we had a look at a couple of extra things like the custom fields that can be exposed and present within those tickets for the engineers. So that's it for the service desk module. There is stacks of more stuff in here that you can do. Honestly, I could probably spend another hour or so probably talking about some other features and functionalities, but that's the basics of HaloPSA, the service desk module. Thanks for watching.